Today's video, we're going to talk a bit about how I control my 240 volt 12 volt system via here on my vehicle or remotely. How do I do that? How I control my system. In the last couple of videos, I've had a few people ask me, how does that work? I can control the amps input, etc. that's coming in from either generator or shore power. So I'm going to show you how I do that, both on the vehicle and remotely. And how I do that on the vehicle is via this touchscreen here. And guys, to do that you need what's called a Victron Cerbo GX. So if you want to know more about it, I've done a video on it, a brief video on it a while back when I first installed it. I will come back and address these components in a future video. It also connects to a separate Victron 4G dongle. So that picks up either 2G, 3G or 4G. Also, you can set it up to upload the data to a Victron portal. So this is all done free, guys. This is all done free. You do not pay to access this portal. You sign up an account. You put in your number that you get on your Cerbo GX. You key that into the portal when you sign up. And then that knows where to find Cerbo GX. Because I think it's really important to know the condition of your battery, the state of charge of your battery, what's drawing what's drawing this, what's your fridge drawing, what's the temperature of the ambient, the humidity, the temperature of the freezer, the temperature of the fridge, including the humidity in the fridge as well. That is also all recorded through the Cerbo GX and uploaded to the portal. Now through that portal I can gain access to it remotely. I can gain to it via mobile phone. I can gain it via an iPad. I can gain access through a laptop. I can gain access through a PC. Anywhere in the world, as long as my vehicle is located in a serviceable area, a coverage area, and as long as I am in some area where I can gain access to the network, internet, whether it be through your mobile phone, whether it be through a Wi-Fi connection somewhere, or whether it be through your broadband internet at home. And not only can I access all this information, I can also turn on and off some of the components, such as the charger, the inverter. I can access my MPPT solar regulator and turn that off remotely as well. I can also download graphs up to 6 months prior showing all this info, guys, all this info. So it's really handy for future fault finding. So if you've got a computer or laptop, you can directly connect the network cable to the Cerbo GX as well. So it's very versatile. If there's an issue with your fridge, you can go back and see in my case, the fridge compressor, what temperature it is running and what's it running inside here. And you can correspond that with the internal temperature and the ambient temperature, so you can see how your fridge is running in certain conditions. But what happens if you're in a remote area? You've got no service, so obviously it's not going to upload that data. So what happens to that information? Well, guess what, guys? Victron actually thought about that. The Cerbo GX has got a built-in storage in there. If it detects there is no signal, no service, all that data is then all saved on the Cerbo GX itself. You can save data that goes for days and days. I don't know how long, I haven't tested it, guys. The most I've been away in a remote area is basically 2 or 3 days without any signal. And as soon as I came within a 3G, 2G, 3G or 4G signal area, all that data was saved on that Cerbo GX. It's then uploaded to the portal, and then it is deleted off the Cerbo GX after it's uploaded. Now, for example, let's say some of you folks I know like to go travel out west, go through your Simpson desert crossings, etc., and you're out there for 2 or 3 weeks where there's no signal out there, and obviously I highly doubt the Cerbo GX internal storage will be big enough to save the data over a 2-3 weeks period, particularly if you got it set up like I have to record everything on a periodic period, like once every minute. I've got it set to send the data out once every minute. So once every minute it records what everything exactly is doing, and that goes straight to the portal. Through the portal you can also access real time. So don't think you can only see data that's only uploaded every minute. You know, you're looking at, you know, temp, or you're looking at voltage, then think you got to wait another minute on your phone or tablet or wherever you are in the world to see what the next recorder in a minute. No. What's going sent up to the portal is real time. It's live. Although when it saves it to the portal, it saves that data once every minute. Now you can change that from once every minute, once every 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour, whatever. But again, Victron thought overcome that issue by giving you option to install a little micro SD card. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, I would suggest to download the manual for the Cerbo GX. You can then put a micro SD card in there that will record this data for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And then as soon as you're in a mobile coverage area, poof, all that data is going to be uploaded and sent to the portal, so then you'll be able to have access to it remotely from anywhere in the world, and it will then delete off the card on your Cerbo GX. This is the Victron HD70 touch screen. Let's start from the center. The center one there, did you see right there? That's my Victron Multi-Plus charger / inverter. It's got what's called power assist. Let's say I am camping somewhere that's got really bad, dirty shore power, or I've got a very small generator. You can turn it right down so that it'll only accept like 4 or 5 amps coming in from shore power. But then what if you're running an induction that's drawing, you know, that requires more than that 4 or 5 amps? Well, this is a unique thing with these multi-pluses. Say I've set it so it'll come in maximum 500 watts from shore power or generator, but I'm running a 1000 watt inverter. Obviously it's not going to run, is it? It's going to bog down. With the multi-plus it will. So that 500 watt is going to go directly straight through to my appliance. They realise, hang on, this 500's not enough. So, boom, immediately cuts in the inverter, and it gets the extra 500 watts from your battery, from your lithium battery. So it uses your lithium battery to make up for the loss in the 500 watt that's not coming in from shore power generator. I'm connected to shore power at the moment, and it's on float. AC loads. So whatever I've got plugged into my AC outlets will show up on here. Also shows the time here, shows the state. These lights here, the green and the yellow, actually shows, the yellow shows that it's in float stage. The green shows that it's actually turned on, main on. This side here, that's the charging side. This side here is the inverter side. So if the inverter was running, it was actually using power assist, it will show up on here. It will show inverter on, and then these other three on the bottoms, they're warning lights. So if you've got an overload, you've got a low battery, or you've got the temperatures too high, it'll show on there. That's shore power coming in. So this will show you whether it's shore power or generator. If I plug in the generator, it'll actually show me that the generator is plugged in. So I can see the limit is on 10 amps. I've got it set to 10 amps. Right now we're just on float. 53 watts is coming in from shore power, 240 volts, which is half an amp, 240 volt. So then this shows the flow of energy, okay, shows the flow of energy. So we've got shore power coming in. So you can see the graph, it's showing it's coming in. It's coming through here, boom, going straight to my battery. That's my battery. So my battery, as you can see there, is 100% fully charged. Next one over, DC system. This is your 12 volts side of things. So this here, DC system, will give you an overall on your 12 volt system. So it'll show you whether it's discharging or inputting. Next one here, PV charger, that's your solar charger. Along the bottom here, you can see I've got the temperatures. Another thing I want to show you with the main screen, I can actually click on, select each one, and it'll give me a overall information here. And in here, I can turn on and off the inverter. So you can see I've got on, off, inverter only, charger only. So I can actually set it up so that if by any chance I lose power, then the inverter will not cut in. So example, I'll just hit that, and you watch this now, and it's very quickly. I just heard it, boom, click, it just went off. So there it is. So it's just turned off. Now you can see on the battery, it's showing me it's drawing 3.2 amps out of the battery. So to turn it back on, I'll just click on this, go to charger only, and now what it's doing is going through a cycle to check everything, make sure everything's fine. All right, this is what it does. You can see the flashing light there. So it's the testing phase. If it finds any error, it won't turn on, and it'll tell me on here, like if there's a short or something's not right, it's overheating. But it's happy now, it's turned on. You can see it's actually gone into bulk charge now. And the shore power in here, if I click on there, I can actually set how many amps input. At the moment, we got 10 amps. So I can select 4, accept, and you watch this, the limit now has changed to 4 amps. So if I've got dirty power, like I mentioned before, is this still recording? Yes. So as I mentioned before, if I've got dirty power coming in and it keeps tripping the fuse in the caravan park or somewhere like that, then I can drop this down to 4 amps. I use this feature a lot, guys. It allows me to get away with using a very small generator. So right now we'll put it back on 10. Now we go in here, we can see the screen here. Through here as well, we can also change the AC. You can see AC mode. If I go in here, now it's turned off. Boom, you just heard it clicked, it just turned off. Now I can click on this, go on, charger only. So that's another way, and you'll hear it shortly. It'll click and turn back in. So it's going through a test phase now. So you see it's discharging. So if we go back to this screen, you'll see, green light flashing. Bang, clicked on. Now it's going to go quickly into bulk charge till that battery is fully charged. Now, also in here, I've got much more precise adjustments I can use by half amp at a time, as you can see. 10 amps, 9.5, 9, 8.5, right down. I can change this. And then once I find the desired amps input I want to do, I'll just hit the accept. And that's it. So they're the two main screens on this. Now, there's also another menu in here. If we go into menu, in here, there's a lot of settings that we can go through to do adjustments to the perimeters, etc. I won't go into that, but I'll show you the basics. You can see 4-wheel drive cab. humidity. It's showing the humidity at 66% in the moment inside the vehicle, 26 degrees inside this carb at the moment. If you have a look at this one below it, ambient temperature, it's outside the vehicle, it's 25 degrees at 69% humidity. So we got the 712, BMW 712 Smart Shunt, shows you the details here, battery's 100%. We're on absorbent charge, that's why it's showing 14.2, 2.1 amps going into the battery. We can go in here, it shows the battery temperature, etc. and so on. We can also go into the history, and it shows you the history, the last discharge, the deepest discharge I've ever taken this battery down, average discharge, total charge cycles. That's not accurate, guys. I'll explain that in another video one day. Cumulative amp hour drawn. So this is how you can work out how many cycles your battery has had. So I've worked out probably about 63, 64 cycles have gone through this battery so far. So there's all that information there. And then if we go back over here, we also, that's the fridge, how I'm able to gain accurate information on the fridge is via this one here. So it monitors the fridge at the moment. The fridge is drawing 2.2 amps, which is 31 watts. The battery's at 14.29. Now I can go into the history and it'll show me the minimum voltage that it's been on since I've had this reset, the maximum voltage, consumed energy, and it's shown 4.46 kilowatts. Now of course using maths I can convert that down to amps. So that's how I work out exactly what my fridge consumption is, and it's very accurate. Here's the temperature, fridge, 79% humidity inside the fridge. That's amazing. And it's 21 degrees, minus 21 in the freezer. Fridge compressor's 33. Here's the multi plus. This is one here's for the smart solar. So I can go on here, it's telling me that it's turned off at the moment. You can go in here, it's got the daily history, etc. So this is just an indication of what is available on here. Now there's a lot more than that, but we're just going to stick to the basics on this one. Okay guys, now there's more, that's not all. I want to briefly quickly show you on my phone. So I'm just going to bring up, I've got an app here. It's called VRM. If I can go on to VRM, so that's me, click on this. Now anywhere in the world I can bring this up on my system. So you can see there, it's showing most of all that information that was on the screen, and if I scroll up, there's all the temperatures. Also shows the temperature and quickly shows where I live. There's a graph here, a history graph. It's all this. Now I can go into this and change this to show me different graphs. I can go into advanced. I'll quickly go in advanced, and in advanced it's got me all more info in here. If you can see that, I'll scroll up. So you can see all this information here. There's a graph. Battery temperature sensor showing the graph. This is over the past 4 weeks. Okay. This is just some of the information that I'm able to gain on this. All this is uploaded to the portal. And all these graphs you can see here can be all saved on your computer via Excel or Access. So you can see there's quite a lot. There's a lot of information here, guys. There's a lot, and there's more I can select. This is not all of it. There is more graphs I can bring up. Now, very similar to if you're using an iPad. that graph that I show you, I can set that to show the graph in the past 1 hour. I can set it to show in the past 6 months. At the moment I've got it set at the past 30 days. I could set it to past the 12 hours, the past 6 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever. And it'll show you that graph over that time period. Gives you an indication how well this works. And in here I can also, that screen that shows up in there, for example, let me just bring this up one more thing here, guys. That screen that you see on the touch screen, I can duplicate that on there, replicates what you see there as well. So I'm able to do the same thing, double click on any one of these, and all those features I show you, that I showed you, is all on here. So I can turn on, off inverter, change the input ratio, etc. So that's all remotely being connected. Now I'm connecting that through the 4G network, through that Victron 4G item I got on there. So, whew, big video, guys. But hopefully what I just showed you there now is an indication of some of the stuff you can do with the Victron gear. Since while I'm a very big avid fan of Victron gear, guys, I cannot recommend it enough. More you guys out there should be using Victron gear. Unfortunately, a lot of the Australian manufacturers are a little bit behind the technology, and you can see why I keep saying that all the time, just for an example of what I just shown you there. A little bit behind the technology. It's about time these guys should be catching up and giving us some data, more information, stuff like this. These unique features that are an advantage for us that are going camping off grid, such as the power assist, etc. And all this information we can get here, which makes it for easy fault finding in the future. So I don't know about you, but I think this is top gear. This is awesome, guys. And being a techie guy, you could probably tell how much I love it. And guys, you do not need to be a techie to be able to do stuff like this, okay? You do not. There's plenty of places in around Australia that will set up their systems like this for you. One, for example, is just down the road from where I live, which are called Solar and Sat. And they're Victron distributors, so they got all the gear there. Not only have they got all the gear there, guys, they also install this stuff and they know their products. There are Victron distributors out there that do not know the products as much as what they should know, in my opinion. But these guys know their products. They can advise you on exactly what you need, and they can tell you exactly how it works, and they can set it up for you and show you how to use these items. And it's not hard to use. So a lot of benefit there. 5-year guarantee on all this gear as well. And yeah, a little pricey, but for what you get, I think it's good value. And it's future proof. Once you got this gear, you're gonna have it for a long time, guys. A very long time. My MPPT Victron solar regulator is some 5-6 years old. I've never had a problem with it. In the future, I'm going to start doing some videos that will show some of these individual componentries that I've got in here in more detail, such as the multi-plus. So, until then, guys, look after yourself, be kind to everyone, and please subscribe and put a like on my video. It'll help my channel enormously if you can do that. So, thanks, until next time, cheers.